everyone. How's it going? Welcome back to the Infatuasian podcast, and we're doing a special side dish edition. We are talking to a friend of the program. You haven't heard him before. He's an actor and writer-director. It's Steven Allerick. Hey, Steve, how's it going?
Hey, man, it's good. How you doing?
We're doing good. You're calling in from LA?
That's right.
All right. We like LA. We get down there sometimes.
Yeah, I like LA too.
All right. And Steven Allerick is an actor, and he's appeared on stage and screen. I just found out through your, I don't know what it was, either IMDb or your Wikipedia, that you were Simba in The Lion King on stage.
Yeah. I originated it in Toronto. So I was the original cast in Toronto. Then I went to Broadway for a little bit, and I came out to LA and did it for a bit. So, yeah, man, nothing like
that's kind of cool, right?
We could fill an entire show. We could fill an entire show, honestly, on just the experience I had doing that one show. You know, because the way that show touched people, you know, like that's what it's all about in the end. You know, like I know there are people have different goals and different things that they want to achieve, but the truth of the matter is, in the end, it really is about touching and affecting other people, you know, hitting them to their core, hitting them in a deeper way. And you know, Lion King was brilliant about that, because it touched everybody, whether you were 5 or whether you were 85. You know, everybody got something out of that show, and everybody was moved by it.
It's just so different too, like the staging, and it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. But then you migrated over to film and TV, and so you guys out there might have seen Steve in Snake Eyes. You're Snake Eyes' dad in Snake Eyes, and you've done dozens of TV shows: Chicago Fire, Westworld, SWAT, The Expanse, 911, NCIS. I've noticed that you play a lot of first responders and like military guys. Do you know anything about like why do they cast you as that? Is it the jawline?
Well, you know what? I kind of think that's, first off, that's what's out there. That's a lot of what's out there. But I don't know. There's just something about, you know, there's something about the heroism of those kind of characters that I kind of gel with. You know, like a kid, you know, I'll never forget when me and my brother, you know, like when Empire Strikes Back came out, I was really little, but I was like all about Luke Skywalker. My brother's like, nah, I'm either Han Solo or I'm Darth Vader. That's, you know, but I was always the dude that was like, I want to be the hero. And so I think that's probably just kind of a natural connection to, you know, some of these, you know, cops and firefighters and stuff like that.
Yeah, cool. And then if you recognize the name Allerick, it might be because we talked to a young man named Tristan Allerick Chen, who happens to be Steve's son. How's Tristan doing? How's my guy doing?
Oh, he's great, man. He's living life, man. He's, you know, he just finished school. He's at the LACSA, which is the one of the top art schools actually in the country. So, but yeah, he just finished school there. So now he's all set to do things like Six Flags and eat a bunch of food and you know, go all over the place. So he's set to, you know, he actually has a little project that he's trying to make, his own project. I was trying to really encourage him to do that kind of stuff. You know, right. He's brilliant. He's very, very creative. He has some really, really great ideas for films and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, you gotta write it. You gotta write it and do it and get in there. And even if it's, you know, doing it on your iPhone, it doesn't matter. Get out there and do it for the experience of doing it and completing something, you know?
Yeah. So you got Tristan doing lots of different projects, and your daughter's doing a lot of different projects too?
Yeah. So she's actually killing it more than him. I want her career. She's everything's under NDA. So, you know, like she can't talk about it. I can't really talk about it, and it's not really on her social media or anything like that. But she completed one season of an animated series that's coming out for Netflix soon. So once it comes out, I'll be able to tell you about it. But so she was a series regular on that, and then she's a series regular she's doing one right now. And in between that, doing all kinds of stuff. So she's killing it, man.
Oh man. I think we talked to Tristan about having like a whiteboard with everyone's audition times, and you got to drive someone here, drive someone there. Is it kind of crazy?
Man, so during COVID, right? So here's what happened. changed agencies right after I shot Snake Eyes.
Okay.
And I shot Snake Eyes like right before the pandemic. So the pandemic starts to hit, lockdown happens. I'm getting emails because I'm new to the agency. I don't know anybody else in the agency other than my point person. So I'm getting all these emails and appointments from people, and mostly obviously voiceover, because we're in lockdown.
Yeah.
So I reach out to this one agent and I go, hey, look, okay, I see where this is going. What do you need from me to help sell me? She goes, look, I'm not an adult voiceover agent. I'm just seeing stuff that I think you're right for and sending it to you. She goes, I'm actually this weird hybrid. I'm more like but I mostly handle kids. And I said, well, my son's 12 years old at the time, 12 and raspy. And she goes, stop. 12 and raspy? I'll sign them. And then I said, okay. And my daughter, and she's okay, send me your daughter's stuff. So I sent them that stuff. And since then, it was just, for them, it was just, it just flew. It was, and I'm grateful that it happened that way, because they get to still experience childhood. If my daughter had, booked a series regular, say on a TV show, it's not the same. You're there 8, 10, 12 hours every day. You're surrounded by adults. You don't really get the opportunity to be a kid. And, lots of kid actors handle it well. I just didn't want to, I'm glad I didn't have to, make those kind of choices for her. You know what I mean? Because I probably would have chosen not to. I think it's important for her to be a kid. And so the way that it went, man, with all the, with them doing all these voiceover stuff is perfect, because you just go to the studio for a few hours and you come home and you're not recognizable. So you're not,
you can lay low.
You get to just be a kid. No one's coming up to going, hey, I saw you on Disney Channel or whatever, like it's perfect, and then they can choose when they become adults. They can choose what they want to do. If they want to continue it, it's great. If they don't, fantastic. Then you have a little bit of money built up to have a life.
And that's got to be the coolest thing. If you're a 14-year-old kid in high school and you have that in your back pocket. Oh, by the way, I was in Turning Red.
Yeah. I mean, it was when Tristan's friends, they were so proud of him. So like they ran with it, and he was a little celebrity at school.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But hey, so you reached out to me about a special project that you've just been working on, and it is a short 13-minute film called The New Night, KNIGHT, and it's on YouTube now, but it was at the Austin Film Festival, so you're kind of doing the film festival route with it at first?
Yeah, so we were very selective about like the festivals we went to, and Austin was my partner's this company Redbird Entertainment. They've been to Austin before, and they were like, Austin's a great festival. So, that among a couple others that we were in, we did well. It was fun. That's our circuit, but we were very selective about the festivals that we chose to go to. My partners, Redbird Entertainment, helped produce the short. They'd been to Austin before with their film, The Killing of Kenneth Chamberlain, which is a really great film if you haven't seen it. But they'd been there with that before. And so, we decided, okay, that's one of the few ones that we're going to submit to. That should be one that we do. But really in the end, this thing was a labor of love. It really, it was, and not just for me. I mean, everybody involved. That was really the beauty of doing a project like this, was even the costume, like, the costume that I wear in it is a Batman costume. And the person that gave it to us or sold it to us at cost, because it was like, you guys are doing. I mean, that thing would easily cost 5-6 times more than what we ended up paying for it. And it was simply because the guy was like, I love what you guys are doing. I think this is great, So that was it, man, and so I'm so grateful for that. And like I say, everybody, cinematographer was like, I'll drop my rate, people involved, everybody kind of saw the importance of it. And being a short film, the chances of it, doing anything for anybody's career is nil. It's next to nil. So I think everybody went in knowing, okay, we're not doing this to boast to, to boost my career, to do anything other than get this story that we all kind of think is important out into the world. And so once we did the festival circuit, that was the step for us, which just happened. So we just let it out on YouTube, and the idea is just get as many eyeballs on it as possible.
Yeah. So why don't you hit me with a little bit of this plot summary? Give me a quick plot summary.
All right. So it's about a little mixed race boy who is infatuated with Batman, but he has a racial awakening when he realizes he doesn't look like Batman.
Yeah. And his mom African American, dad Asian.
Yeah.
And so he and his brother kind of don't look like this. This might sound a little familiar to your kids, a little bit.
And to me, to be honest with you, I fashioned the mother and father off of my own parents. It's sort of rare to see that pairing that way. I think at least when I was growing up, I think it's more common now. You know what I mean? But I really wanted to make sure that both sides of my of my heritage were represented, or all sides. You know what I mean? I'm actually more mixed than just Asian and black. You know what I mean? But they're kind of the more dominant sides of my heritage. And I was like, I want to make sure that's, that all races are kind of included in this.
Yeah. So was that kind of your why for making this? You were just, growing up, I don't know how old you are, but I know when I grew up, when I looked on TV, there wasn't a whole lot for me to see in terms of people that look like me.
Oh, 1,000%, man. I mean, like, even as an actor, to be honest with you, it's so ingrained in my head, what the visuals are, that to this day, when I pick up a script, even if it says, African-American male, 30 years old, my mind has to switch from a brown-haired white guy to that. You know what I mean? Because we've been so trained. I think it's so important. Like, you see the reaction from these little girls who identify with the Little Mermaid. You see that happen, and it's happening for a reason. Because you're right. Like, we don't, growing up, man, I didn't see a lot of myself. I didn't, and even when I did, it was sort of one aspect of my heritage. It never really fully reflected me personally. And even when it did reflect those sides, it was stereotypical. It wasn't what was reflected in my real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I felt that this message was really important.
Yeah. So this I think you shot it in the city. It doesn't matter what city it is, but you shot it in kind of a city. Yeah. And you have this kid, and he's looking at his superheroes and his comic books, and he's just not finding how he fits in there. And other kids are like, hey, there's a superhero party, but there's no superheroes that look like you.
Right.
And then he goes home. Yeah. So it's real cute. I think it's real fun. And it's fun, but there's a deeper message there. And are you just hoping that kids watch this, or, people out there that might see themselves in there somehow?
I mean, yeah. My hope is that, like you say, people watch it and realize the importance of representation. I feel right now in Hollywood, it's being recognized. But I question the reason why it's being recognized. I question whether it's kind of more of a financial choice than a choice to do the right thing. I don't know, but I just, sometimes it feels like that's what it is. So, my hope is that the powers that be kind of watch this and are moved in some way to be like, you know what, I kind of get it,
Yeah.
And I hope that other, kids and people of color are seen by this. The amazing thing is that the theme was touched on, like, so many people were in, like, saw themselves in this besides race. There are friends of mine who saw it and identified. There were, you know what I mean? There were transgender friends of my kids who were like, I identify with that. So, it's universal. I think it's anybody who feels different, anybody who feels like they're not represented, which are a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's very cool. So everyone out there can go find this. It's called The New Knights, KNIGHT. I think if you put 2023 on there, it'll pop up first thing. Not trying to make money off of this. It's not a DC movie or anything.
No, it's just not, and I can't. You know what I mean? We can't. Yeah. So there's no ads. There's no ads or anything. This whole thing, honestly, is simply to do what I set out to do when I started acting. And that's just to move people.
So everyone find it. Go send it to a friend that you think might enjoy this, or send it to everyone, whether you think they'll enjoy it or not. Just send it to everyone. Get some eyeballs on this. We'd love to see this blow up. So yeah, thanks, Steve, for reaching out.
Thank you, Kurt. Thanks so much for that.
Sure. And then we like to end our this is kind of a short episode, but we like to end our episodes by asking our guests who their infatuation is. And infatuation is anyone in the Asian community that has inspired you. They can be living or deceased. So, Steven Allerick, who is your infatuation?
That is such an easy one. Bruce Lee.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I was heavy into martial arts as a kid.
Yeah.
But the philosophical side of him was, I feel like, ahead of the time and groundbreaking. And his whole philosophy of, this beauty of our art and our culture, we shouldn't try and hoard it to ourselves. We should let it go, let others into it so that they can see the beauty and so that we can relate. And that is something that I believe wholeheartedly.
Yeah, he's the GOAT. He's the
GOAT. He is, man. He is the GOAT.
Yeah, we got a cool exhibit. I went down there to do a little show about it. It's about Bruce Lee's life, and Shannon, his daughter, had a big hand in it, and she lent a lot of the properties and a lot of stuff in his own handwriting, his workout schedule. So next time you're up in the city, come down to Chinatown. There's an exhibit. I think it's just look up the Chinese Historical Society of America, and they have the Bruce Lee exhibit there.
I gotta check that out, man.
It's very cool. Very cool. No, I will never argue with anyone who wants to pick Bruce Lee as their infatuation.
Exactly.
He's the man. He is the man. All right, man. Well, that was kind of a quick episode, but it's so good touching base with you. I'm glad you reached out.
Yeah, you too, man. Thank you so much for doing this and helping us out. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. And for those of you out there, you can follow Steven at Steven Allerick on Instagram. And as I mentioned, you can always follow us at The Infatuasian Podcast on Instagram or Facebook. And you can write to us, infatuasianpodcast@gmail.com. And you know what to do. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts and give us a rating if you would. And so on behalf of Steven and myself, we hope that you're all happy, healthy, and safe out there. Until we talk to you again, bye.